Going on about 10 o'clock. Welcome to episode 28 of Crafting a Chat, everybody. This is our 28th episode, 28 weeks in a row. Haven't missed a single one. We had some bonus episodes, so maybe this is probably like 29, 30, somewhere around that. I think we've had 2 bonus episodes, right? So probably in actuality,
I
it's
think
30
30
episodes at that point. I got myself, Genesis, and Adam here. As I'm sure everybody can see, we are missing a crucial part of our cast here. Mr. Giuseppe Jones has decided to take a leave of absence. We put all our hopes and dreams with him, and hopefully he can succeed in everything that he needs to have done in his life. And he'll be back when it is an okay time for him to come back. So for now, you're going to enjoy myself and Adam as we lead on this cast. And we'll see where it goes. Adam, what have you been playing this week?
Oh man, I've been playing some stuff. Did we do Destruction All Stars? Was that this week?
We did that for a very short amount of time. That was this week.
Okay.
That was this week.
We did Destruction All Stars.
It's insane how short it was, and it was this week.
Yeah, that game is something. It's one of the free plus games. If you got a PS5, so give that a whirl. We tried it. We didn't really care for it too much. We had a lot of connection issues, which is typical of launch games. But yeah, we played with Chris, right?
Yes, we did play with Chris.
Yeah.
And we had a very, very tough time. First 2 matches, we were actually together. And then every other match after that, we just couldn't, for the life of us, get into a party together. It just kept throwing one of us out. One of us would be out.
At first, I got dropped, and then I was continued to drop, even though I never left. And then I think you were dropped next. And then Chris was dropped. And then we were like, check this back out in a month. 2 months, maybe? And then we all deleted it and went on our merry ways. So we played a little bit of that.
Yeah, we'll probably see it back in a month.
Yeah. And then I played Concrete Genie.
Said you've had a lot of fun with that.
I've had a lot of fun. No spoilers here, so I won't go into anything, what happened the other night.
Spoiler-free podcast.
But Concrete Genie, I thought about picking up when it first came out, just a game that kind of interests me. It's got that indie vibe of... like a puppeteer, Little Big Planet, kind of like what's going on with this. It was really unique, artsy. I really liked it a lot. I liked it more than I thought I would. Probably my favorite game I've played this year. So, very excited.
How long did it take you to platinum that game?
7 hours, according to the PlayStation.
For all
totally worth it.
Guys out there, 7 hours not bad.
7 hours not bad. The last trophy was the most annoying, where you had to paint for like 3 minutes consecutively because it just kept kicking me out of the paint mode for some reason. But I'm sure you can get around that. I did. So, but yeah, highly recommend it. Recommended it to pretty much everyone here. Relaxing game, fun game, just a good time overall. Yeah, and that's really all I played. Oh, Minecraft. A lot of Minecraft. If you look around,
as everybody can see, there's
there
no
is
more snow.
no snow.
Even though
there's
there is still snow.
There's some snow.
Even though in reality there's a lot of snow. Listen, let's not kill winter out just yet. In our world here, winter is gone. It is past January now, so winter is technically gone. We are waiting the arrival of spring, which this kind of looks like spring as it is, but
it's Minecraft. Like it looks the same.
We'll put some flowers maybe around next time to signify spring, maybe.
Yeah. There's not a lot of stuff. Yeah, April showers bring May flowers. May is when we'll put the flowers in. But the snow on the top of the trees, that's probably gonna stay there. I'm just too lazy to take it down. It took me a little over 2 hours to clear all of this with a bucket of water.
Oh my god.
Yeah, not fun. Made a compilation. 4 parts on my YouTube channel starting too late if people want to check that out. Set to some copyright-free music.
You need some background noise, you need some background music, you need some lo-fi to listen to, go check that out.
Part 1 and 2 are out now. Part 3 is out tomorrow, and Part 4 is out, I don't know, Thursday? Yeah, that's how that's working.
We got a
So
schedule. We got a schedule.
yeah, I don't want to just overload my 3 subscribers. You know what I mean? They don't need to be annoyed. They're barely subscribed to me
Listen,
anyways, and one of them's me.
absolutely.
So, um, Genesis though, what have you been playing?
So after our Destruction All Stars crash and burn there,
Hmm.
I was kind of looking for something to play multiplayer wise because I'm like, I was hoping to get a good enjoyment out of that, and I was sorely disappointed when the game came up to be a little bit of a mess. I mean, I'm sure it'll get fixed, but for now, it is indeed a mess. So I took it upon myself, along with number one fan of the podcast,
Hmm.
to go ahead and look for a different game. So we had tried Gundam. I believe it was Battle Operation 2, I think. We tried that out, and we absolutely hated that. We played it, and we couldn't figure out for the life of us, how do we control this game? By the way, I have a person in the chat here. Smug Kid Hat says poggers. I don't know. I don't know enough Twitch lingo to understand what that means, but I appreciate the comment. If that is an insult, then I guess that's an insult. If that's a compliment, if that's a compliment. If that's nothing else, I guess it's nothing else. Um, but yeah, we hated that. That was terrible. We played, I think, 3 rounds of it, trying to get into a match. I accidentally put myself in Japanese, and I couldn't understand what I was doing until I figured out how to go back in English. Which number one fan of the podcast actually helped me out with that to put me back in English. And then we moved on to a little game called Cursed Fod, which is an acronym for Cuisine Royale Special Edition. He just told me what the
Fulfillment
next
of all
part meant.
desires.
Fulfillment of all desires. It is an awesome game, a fantastic game. Apparently, we slept on this game for a long time because from on the surface, it doesn't look like anything other than like a generic BR, like a battle royale. Um, but it actually has a lot of weight to it. It actually plays really well, especially the menu music. Without getting a copyright strike or anything
Hmm.
like that, I would suggest anybody to look it up on YouTube. Just look up Cursed main menu music, and you'll understand exactly what I mean. You'll get a rush of adrenaline at the same time as the rush of confusion because you won't understand why the song is the way it is, but it gets you pumped up for something. What it is, I wish I would know what it is.
A greeting.
Um,
That's what it is.
yeah, we'll go with a greeting. Yeah, either a greeting or you kicking somebody in the face. The sound you make when you
Oh yeah.
punch somebody in the
Okay.
face. Yeah.
Sure. Sure.
Um, so we played a very, very many rounds of that. Actually, a really fun game. It kind of sets you in the era of World War One or two because you pick up a bunch of old weapons. There's a couple of Mayan temples all over the place too, and then you're in a desert somewhere where there's like modern looking things, like a neon sign and things like that. So I don't know. It's a mix of everything, but it's like your traditional battle royale games. The only difference in that is it is completely free. You literally have to buy nothing to play this game. You can play as many rounds as you want, and they rotate characters every single season or every week. I think it's every week actually. I'm probably correct on the week. Um, and you get to try out new characters, and you don't really have to do anything after that. You just play with a couple of your friends online. You can play in duos, solo, trios, quads, and you get in there and you do what you got to do. I mean, it's a lot of fun. Other than that, I played a little bit of COD. Um, I popped Kingdom Hearts 3 back in just to check out the 60 frames per second and the higher resolution in the game. It has not officially gotten a PlayStation 5 patch, but it benefits from the boost mode that's on PlayStation 5. So that definitely helps. I'm trying to think of anything else that I
Didn't you
played.
do God of War a little bit?
Yes, I did. I did download God of War again to also because that actually got a PlayStation 5 patch. Which, my God, if anybody who's watching, anybody out there at all in this entire universe is watching our podcast, um, if you have not played 2018's God of War for PlayStation, man, you are sleeping on a game because especially now, if anybody's whoever's lucky you have a PS5, if you play that game on a PlayStation 5, that is insane. That the frames, the way the game looks, just the overall, oh my God, it makes it an 11 out of 10 instead of a 10 out of 10. It
Hmm.
literally was just missing 60 frames a second. The combat is now even smoother than it was before. Other than that, I think that's all I played. I may have probably popped in Horizon again, but I can't remember if I went in there or not. But that's basically all that I've played this week. Um, Other than that, we don't really have too much of an agenda or topics to talk about tonight. Obviously, we will get to rumors and leaks. I have a couple of those lined up. We're just gonna, I think, talk of just a little bit general discussions here about some of the news that's been going around in the gaming world, and things like that. And we'll see where the conversations take us. If any of you guys are watching want to attribute to this conversation, please leave a like or a comment actually in the Twitch.
Leave a
For
like.
now,
We'll
we're
talk about
also
the like.
a like.
We'll
Yeah, we'll
just
talk
be
about the
like,
like. Yeah,
we'll
if you
talk
guys
about
leave a
like
like
and
in there.
how it affects gaming in general. We'll get
Well,
real
maybe it
philosophical
does.
for you.
Maybe leaving a like affects you in how you play a game. Maybe you get more motivated when you got a like. Okay.
Hey, trophies,
Um,
man. I like them.
Maybe I was contemplating trophies one day, and I might lean into a topic with that in a second. But
Mm.
just to also another bulletin for this podcast is we are going to be doing Twitch only for the next upcoming weeks. So keep an eye on our Twitch channel. We have done a Twitter. I think I mentioned that last week. Follow us on Twitter as well if you want to see. Stop! Listen. Stop! This is a family-friendly show. If you follow us on Twitter, you'll also see our Twitch streams as well on there. I usually get them up as quick as I can from when we're about to stream, or maybe a half an hour or an hour before we're about to stream.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's the only other thing that I have to
I
let
do
everybody
stream
else
it
know
on
as a
my
PSA.
channel, but I already mentioned my channel earlier, and if you really cared, you'll find it. So, there you go.
Definitely give Adam a follow on his channel. And while I was thinking about all that, while I was thinking about trophies, trophies give you a huge incentive to play and basically ace and complete a game. In retrospect, not all games require that, but some of them make you do 100% or things like that. When I look back at some of the older games that didn't have trophies, the only things that would get you to the end sometimes is those like special unlocks or like knowing you, if it was a game franchise you followed, you got a cutscene at the end of the game, like a secret scene or something like that, you know, satiates what you do in those. But now the trophies are here. I feel like trophies, especially if they don't have a platinum, I feel like maybe they don't give you enough of a motivation if they don't have a platinum. Like I've seen some games, smaller games on PlayStation 5 and 4 that don't have a platinum. I don't know if you feel that way. I know platinum earning is one of the things that you are
Um,
very proud of without all the platinums you have.
so I'm broken when it comes to trophies, because we're in the minority where we care about trophies. Most people don't care about trophies. They'll
Certain
play
games I
games,
care about
and
trophies,
then you
not
look
all,
at their
certain.
list and they have like 7 trophy lists that have 0%. Just delete them, please. Clean it up. I'm just saying, it'll improve your completion percentage. It's not important, but Sony doesn't even keep track of that. I use a different website to keep track of that.
It's
I really
important in
like
certain
trophies.
situations.
Yeah, and I use I look at the trophies before I buy a game. If I want to buy a game and the trophies are bad, I'm probably not buying that game. But now I have
I
my
have a
second
similar
account,
philosophy with that.
so do you really?
I do, because when I look at a game and I see the trophies don't have a platinum, like I will second guess whether or not I want to buy that game, or I want to even own the game or try the game. There are certain games that I'll look into and I'm like, oh, this game only has like 10 trophies and none of it leads me to a platinum. I don't really want to put the effort in to even get the 10 trophies. Like even if I have 100%, it's not going to show a platinum at the end of that game.
So
Um, Go
that's
ahead.
interesting because I don't care if there's a platinum. I mean, it's nice. Typically, the bigger games have a platinum. I'm not
Mhm.
turned off by a game if it doesn't have a platinum. Like I played Gone Home, I played Flower, I played there's one I was thinking of specifically and I totally just left me. But none of those had a platinum and I was okay with that. Because they were smaller games and I looked at the trophies and I saw like, okay, you have to do a little bit of work. And I liked the games enough where I was like, I'll go through them. There are some games where I get them and I'm like, I know I won't get a platinum in this, or I know I won't get 100% trophies. But if I get like an 80%, I'm fine. Like the Crash trilogy. I like Crash. I knew I wasn't gonna platinum those, but I still wanted them on my main account because like
That's part of your
crashes.
legacy that you have on the main
Yeah,
account. That's you
it's
like that.
it's part of my like identity as like a PlayStation gamer. Um, and the first game, like I don't even know if I have 50% in the first game. The second game, I have close to 80 or 90%. I just need 112% the game or whatever percentage it is, but I'll never do it because I'm just not skilled. So yeah,
Skill has a lot to do with it. I
yeah,
agree with that. There are certain games that I
patience.
love, and there's no way I can get I can get even 100%. Like some of the Devil May Cry games, if I had the finger acrobatics that some people have, that they can do some of these combos that they have in the
Hmm.
game. I wish I could do something like that because I would get a platinum in it. I think it's weird. When I was younger, I was able to get. I say when I'm younger, like I'm like 50 years old. That was only like what, maybe 15 years ago. It's still quite a while, a good chunk of time. But um, I remember when I had platinumed um, one of the harder games I played. Oh my God, was it one of the Kingdom Hearts games? Something like that? I don't know if it was. It may have been that. It may have been something else that I had to redo before my original PlayStation account had gotten banned for
Yeah.
not important reasons. But I had platinum one of these harder games that I had popped back into my new account, and I was like, to do this platinum again, I would have to put so many hours into this. I don't know if I could do it again. And I feel like my skill set's also gotten rusty as as you get older and you have other priorities you got to do. You don't dedicate as many hours to gaming and practicing and things like that in the game that you want to platinum. I wish I could platinum some of these games over again because it's like I don't have the skill set, I don't have the time, or I just I have other things I have to do.
Yeah.
I just can't dedicate myself to that platinum. Devil May Cry would be one of those games that I wish I could do, but A, I don't have the skill set. B, as much as I love the franchise, I can't. I just can't do it. But like you said, you have a separate account for those games that you just want to try, and you don't want those other trophy lists to get up into your completion rate, so that it affects your rate.
Hmm.
I don't have that thinking to do that. But my thinking is, if it doesn't have a platinum, it's not 100% worth my time. Now that's slightly skewed, I think, because if the game is very good, I'm still gonna do it. I'm still gonna try the game. But if it's a game that I have no knowledge about and I look at it and it has like 10 trophies and I look to see if it has a platinum, if it has 10 trophies and a platinum, I will probably 8 out of 10 times download it and play it and beat it and try and get that platinum because it's so small. I'm like, that's almost like a free platinum for me there. Kind of like what is that game that I played? My Name is Mayo 2 and My Name is Mayo 1.
Hmm.
All I had to do was press the touchpad a bunch of times,
Yeah.
and I got a platinum. It was like it was $1 for a platinum. I'm like, you know what? Sure, why
See,
not? Sign me up. I'll do it.
a lot of my games are not skill based. That I got platinums on. I have 74 platinums now. With Concrete Genie. And I'll probably
It's an
have
impressive
80
number.
by. Thank you. I'll probably have 80 by the end of the year. My games are just a lot of them are time consuming. But I don't do the My Name is Mayo stuff because I just don't feel like playing it. Even though I did help you with the first one. I don't know why, but I did. That was fun figuring that out. I think because it was
I mean,
just
it
so
took me like an
ridiculous.
hour to get it, an hour and a half
Yeah,
maybe,
it
an hour
was
and a
so
half to get the
ridiculous,
platinum.
and I was like, you know what? I want to be part of this journey, but I would never do this for me. It's not because I would see that on my list and be like, wow, that's cheap. Like, I think the hardest game I ever platinum was that Call of Duty Classic. It's the first Call of Duty, and you had to complete the game on veteran, and that game sucks. So,
If I could
especially
look up my old account and
modern
find the
days.
plat, I think you did that one time,
I
and you
did.
told me that I had like maybe
I did do it
3 or
once.
4 platinums. I didn't have many, I think.
Yeah, you didn't have too many. You didn't.
Um,
Yeah, I think it was three, but it could have been
but there
four.
were some games that I platinumed in there, and I was like, okay, I'm proud of platinuming this game.
My first platinum is my favorite platinum because it's a little game called Infamous. The original Infamous came out in 2009. Um, you played that, right? You not all of it, but you've played it.
I didn't play all of it. That was when I had a PS3 that could play any game that I wanted. I'll leave it at that. And I played Infamous on there. I never played Infamous 2 on there, and I instead played it on 3 through PS Now. And I loved Infamous 1, and I didn't get a chance to ever beat it because my PlayStation 3 got the yellow light of death. and I didn't have a PlayStation for a little while until I finally got my own cash and bought a PS3 Slim with The Last of Us. That was when I got back on PlayStation. That
Yeah.
was before I think we even because I wasn't in Buffalo. I wasn't in Buffalo that time.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Um. If do you remember collecting the blast shards in Infamous?
Remember that?
So there's if you remember 350 of them. Um. I distinctly remember that number because on the 349th I found after going to every location that my 350th was glitched. Um. And it's the first blast
And that
shard you're
stopped
supposed to
me.
pick up, and mine I never picked it up, and I was like, I don't remember this moment happening. And then I looked through it, and I literally went to every location multiple times, and I was like, oh, okay. So after I beat the game, I started the game over, and I collected all those blast shards again until I. That was one of the last trophies I needed, if not the last. I think it was the
Oh
last
my god.
because
I remember
I
doing that in
yeah
Infamous Second Son with the blast shards. There weren't like the same amount of like the same type of
no
blast shards. I think there
yeah
was
there were
something
way
different you
less.
had to collect, but I remember having to do that.
This was back in the day where like I had to pull up basically a map at school and print them off, or like at home and print them off. Go to each dot that was like in a general area, and then when I found it,
Hmm.
cross it off. And then
I
there
remember
was
having to
no
do
like,
that similar thing for AC2.
yeah,
Remember that
there's
one?
with
With
the
all the
feathers.
feathers.
Yeah, no, I know. I've recently done that because I have the
Oh, really?
MCO collection. I still
You
have to
did do
collect. I still
that.
have to collect like three more feathers, but they're all mission, like in one of those missions underneath the ground, the Romulus bases or whatever the heck they're called. Um, but
Oh yeah, yeah.
it's interesting because you never had an Xbox or anything like that, right?
No, and I had a Nintendo, and Nintendo never incentivized you, and they're real late to the party. They have
See, I'm shocked by that.
what do they have? What is it called from them?
I don't even. Do they have something? I don't know what it is.
They have something you earn. Keep talking, and I'll research this in
So
two
the reason
seconds.
I
I'll
bring
probably
that
tell
up
you.
is because I did have a an Xbox 360 way back in the day. Some would say around like 2010 ish, 2009, somewhere around there. Um, I got like a the Xbox 360 arcade bundle. It came with Forza Motorsport 2 and Marvel Ultimate Alliance 2. I 100%ed Forza Motorsport 2. Uh, there's no platinums because trophies didn't exist until like late 2008, 2009. I think it was 2008 because Metal Gear Solid 4 was the first you can get, I
Nintendo
believe.
doesn't have any. Nintendo has
So
none.
you're just crazy.
That's
Okay,
insane that
that's
they
good to
have
know.
none. Oh my god, yeah, I'm just crazy.
You're just losing your mind. It's all right.
Goodness.
Um, but yeah, achievements, I kind of was there, but then when they introduced trophies, for some reason it just clicks for me. I think because I always like numbers. Like I'm
I
not a
see what you
math
did there. I
person.
see what you did there.
Uh, Thank you,
For
thank you.
some
I don't
reason,
know
it
what I
clicks
did.
for me.
Yeah. But I'm not a math person, but I just like seeing stats. I really
Yeah,
enjoy looking at like the easy to
percentages and.
understand stats, not calculating them. I'm
Hmm.
too dumb. But like,
Because what does achievement do? That adds to your gamer score, right? Which is not like a flat number. That depends on what you earn, and that adds to your score.
yeah, you get like a score. Like, there's people who, after they hit a million, Microsoft actually sends them something. Because they hit a million, it takes a lot. Big games are around 1,000 achievement score, a gamer score, I
That's
believe
a
it's
lot,
called.
then. Oh my
Yeah,
God.
and well, it's basically like a gold trophy is like 100 points. A silver trophy is 50 points, and then bronzes are like 5 to 20. It's a number system. Sony does the same thing, but they made symbols out of them, and then they gave you a platinum. Like, hey, you did everything, so here's another reward. And for some reason, that just works for me so much. Like, I wish achievements it gave you like a completion percentage. I think you get like a check mark next to the game after you do it.
Hmm.
But yeah, I have an obsession with trophies. I shouldn't. I wish I didn't. But that's kind of why I got that second profile. So It's really
I
helped
mean, that's
a
an
lot.
easy flick, my God,
What?
easy fix for that. I'm reading something. I was just reading something on Twitter. I just while I was listening to you, I was like, let me just look this something up real quick.
Ah,
Um, but when I was when you were saying about how that affects you, I mean, listen, the easy fix is just to get a second account, which you've already done that. That's
mm-hmm.
a-okay. But the whole reason why I brought this in was because I didn't. Again, I don't know where I got the notion that Nintendo had something, but I can't believe they're not in this like whole mindset of let's get people achievements or trophies or special things they can earn in a game. Like when you okay, so for example, when you play the latest like Zelda Breath of the Wild, right? You unlock
Yeah.
weapons, you unlock all this good stuff. That's awesome. That's in-game unlocks, right? But like for all the things that you do, you don't even get like a reward on outside of the game that says, "Hey, you've done XYZ. Here's your reward for that," or "Here's your proof that you've done that." You know, I don't know.
There's
I don't know. Maybe they just don't care. Nintendo people maybe just don't really care,
I think
or
it's more about like again, we're in the minority when it comes to caring about trophies, achievements, and all that. But I think Nintendo has the classic mindset of if you want to play it, and if you enjoy it, play all of it. And if you
but I
want
feel like we
something,
wouldn't be in the
if you want to be
minority. A lot of
rewarded,
games.
then you can be. I mean, we're in the minority that we actually care. You know how many people like just don't ever look at their trophies? Like my
Sure,
friend
but there's a
Alex,
lot of
he
games that
doesn't look
get
at his
patched for
trophies.
trophy support too. You know, if
Number
they're
one
doing specific
fan
patches for
of the
that.
podcast wants to call in. So hold on, let me connect him.
All right, we're connecting him in.
Number one fan of the podcast, Kevin, I believe you are connected. Can you hear us?
I can hear you. How
Wow.
did you
Welcome,
jerry-rig
welcome to our
this?
show. Welcome.
Welcome. Welcome.
You are quite a technical man,
I'm
apparently,
sorry you're
to
breaking
pull
up.
this off.
He got you in with the
No,
power of 5G, guys. 5G sponsored by T-Mobile.
No. We're not sponsored by anybody. If we were sponsored by someone, it might be Magenta, but we're not. Just saying. Number one
Listen,
fan of the podcast,
one of these
Kevin?
days, one of these days.
yeah.
Please,
So
chime
real
in on
quick,
this.
I do not go for trophies. I don't really go for achievements
You
unless I
son of
really
a...
love the
Never
game
mind.
and
Famous
want
show,
to
famous show.
challenge myself.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
If
yeah.
I want to challenge myself, that's my progress in, completing those challenges. But what I actually really like that I don't think very many games, if any, really allow you to do. You could argue Call of Duty does a similar thing, but in Counter-Strike Global Offensive, they'll give you free medals that show your years of service, aka years of playing Counter-Strike, whatever. And like I just got my 10-year medal, so I can put that next to my name in the scoreboard so everybody can look at it and be like, oh, shit, this person's been playing for 10 years. Whole family show.
See, now that's interesting.
I like that idea. That's actually
And
pretty
there's
cool.
other
That's like
things
your
too,
tenure.
like
Yeah.
when I was doing, they had esports tournament things going on in it, and they offered players the chance to like set up their own brackets, kind of like play like fantasy CS:GO almost. And the more accurate that your predictions and bracket were, you would get either bronze, silver, or gold. It might have been diamond prediction little medals that you could display as well, and they would give you free skins.
Now, I have a
like that.
question for you.
Yeah.
You said you're not into platinums. Do you have any?
Oh yeah, I got platinums. I don't know how many.
You got some. Can you name one and one of the games you have a platinum in and why you got the platinum?
The Pathless, because that game was freaking great. I loved playing the Pathless, and I thought the boss
You
fights,
did talk a
especially
lot
in that
about
game,
that game.
were
You did,
amazing.
yes.
Yeah.
They were
Yeah,
so
I helped you look up the
lengthy.
trophies for that. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So so you played it. Were you like playing it, and then you were like, I'm gonna go for the platinum because I just want to keep playing, or
Pretty
was
much.
it something
Yeah.
where you just playing and all of a sudden the platinum popped?
No, I wanted to actually try to. I mean, I probably would have done it through normal gameplay anyway. It didn't really ask you to do too much outside the norm. But no, I went for it because I wanted to.
Okay.
So basically games that you're
Interesting.
really
Eight
passionate
platinums in
about at
total.
that point.
8. Okay, 8. That's
More than I
Genesis.
have.
How many do you have? Hold on a
You know
moment.
what? That's a good question. Let me check. Hang on. This is actually
Number one fan of the
While he's
podcast
looking,
might have
the
more.
Pathless Control, another great game. The
Mm-hmm.
original Doom.
You're welcome.
Yeah, thank you. You helped me with that one.
Yep.
We'll probably never finish Doom 2. No.
Maybe one day. Probably not.
Duke
12
Nukem 3D,
platinums.
20th Anniversary World Tour. Horizon Zero Dawn. The Witness. Oh, The Witness, of course. Oh my god. Such a good game. Witness is like my all-time favorite game. It's great. If you haven't played it, look it up.
Don't sleep on the game.
Is that the thing that we're gonna go because I said that twice already?
Oh.
We're gonna get catchphrases from me and all my mess ups and screw ups when I say something, and you're like, yep.
Yeah, there it is. There it is.
Borderlands 1, and believe it or not, Modern Warfare 2.
I
Modern Warfare
believe
2
it.
would be, I think, be a common one that people would platinum if they had the game on PlayStation 3
there's
or
the
something.
Spec Ops missions. That one's tough. I only have a 30% in Modern Warfare 2 because that was
you gotta do a lot.
That was back in the day.
Most of it's on veteran, is it not?
A lot of it's on veteran, yeah. You have to get like 3 stars and like a bunch of them. But that was back in the day when I shared. Everyone remembers on PS3, I'm sure, that you could basically just share your accounts with everybody, and as long as you had like 3 other friends logged into your PlayStation, you could just download their games and play it on your account, and it wouldn't matter.
Yeah, up to five limit of game sharing. They shut that down with PS4 with a limit of 1.
So I had a friend who bought a lot of games, and his taste was basically the opposite of mine. So we shared our accounts, and every so often I would want a game of his, and he would want mine. So I have a 2% for Tom Clancy's End War. That's the one where you talk with microphones, like to control.
Is that the first one to introduce like push to talk or something like that? Was that what it is?
Yeah. So when that happened,
What a game.
this young man understood my obsession for trophies back in the day, and I was on vacation at my dad's house, and I didn't bring my PlayStation, and he called me, and I was like, "What's happening?" And I answered, and he's like, "I don't want you to freak out. I just want to tell you it was a mistake. I had cousins over. I'm very sorry." And he sounded like he was about to cry. And I was like, "What happened? Like, did someone get hurt? Like, what's going on?" And he's like,
Somebody got hurt.
"I showed my cousins how to play this Tom Clancy game, End War." And I'm like, "Okay, I've never heard of it because it's not my type." And he's like, and then they popped some trophies, and I didn't realize who they were logged under, and then it hit me. And I was like, "Don't tell me, please." And then he's like, "You can borrow it if you want to play more." And I didn't want to play more. And I just had this 2%, and I still hate it. I think about it every day. Call of Duty, I borrowed from him, and I started it up. And I was like, I can do this. And then I was like, I don't have the skills for this, and I didn't really do online back in the day. So I'm okay with that 30%.
You needed some real skill to do the Spec Op missions.
Yeah.
I think a number one fan of the podcast, Kevin, you can probably attest
Call has
that
been
you need
disconnected.
super skills. Oh,
Call's
been disconnected.
I had to use part of my brain to go back and find that story, and the other part that was holding the call with the 5G. You know how that I don't have to explain this to you. It just got disconnected, so the audience understands. But yeah. So trophies are great, man. They shouldn't be.
Yeah,
but
and this is why I'm so surprised that like the Nintendo players just don't care about it. Like I don't understand, but I mean, I guess to each his own. You know, if they don't really care about it, they don't care about it. But it's just mind-boggling. Like if I was on a Nintendo Switch and I didn't earn, like for example, I'll take one small example as Pokemon. If I didn't get a trophy for completing the national dex in Pokemon, like I got a certificate in the game. That was back in the day of Game Boy Advance before I understood trophies in PlayStation 3 and 4. And I never completed the national dex, I think, after that again. But if I were to do it today, and I didn't get a trophy or an achievement or like a thing that says, "Hey, Pop, you got all the Pokemon that you could possibly catch," like I'd be pretty upset. I'd be pretty upset.
Yeah, I've said it before. I think on here where I would play more Animal Crossing, if it
there
had
were
trophies,
trophies.
and if it was easy to just like speak to you guys and hear the game. If it had
Absolutely.
trophies, I would. Oh man, I would platinum that game so quick, so quick. I mean, it would take hundreds of hours, but I'd be all up in that game. What's cool about some of the platinums you get? Some of the developers, they tie their hey, you get a platinum. Check your email, check your spam folder because they
You
might have
get an
sent you a free
avatar,
theme.
you get a
Yeah,
theme. Yep.
I don't know what they're doing for
It's
PS5.
insane.
Themes. Hey, Sony, we're waiting for
Well,
the themes.
Sony, we need an update. We need that update. Please,
I want an
SSD
infamous
update and the
theme.
themes, please. Please.
Please give me an
Beg
infamous
you.
theme that looks like the 2009 infamous. Don't ask me questions why. I just want it. So, trophies though.
Ay, ay. So, moving on to a couple things in news here. Uh, Prince of Persia: The Sands of Time remake. This has been indefinitely delayed, even though I despise the company who makes it. Obviously, they can all jump in a lake and drown for all I care.
No, 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 no.
In virtually, not in real life, virtually.
Mm-hmm.
Um, any thoughts on this? I'm not surprised. I'm not like struck with any shocking revelations that this is going to be delayed indefinitely, because the way it looked just didn't stand up to any and it didn't live up to any standards that people were expecting of what you would call a remake, especially with the standards of remakes that we've had already with like FF7, things like that. Like this doesn't hold a candle to something like that. Um, I mean, for whoever wants this, I hope they get what they want after it's been indefinitely delayed, or maybe it'll never come out. I don't know.
I saw this news, and let me tell you, one of the saddest days of my life. I really thought I had the score predicted for Metacritic at like a 50 something, 58 or something.
And it's a
I,
zero. It's a zero.
this is the real reason Giuseppe's not here. He was crushed by this news. He was absolutely crushed. If he was here, he would be like, good, no one cares. And I 100% agree with what I think he would say. Because
Sure.
that game, it didn't look good. I mean, it was great. They brought the old voice actor back, Spider-Man himself, Yuri Lowenthal. Like, great, cool. But also, everything about that game looked like a late PS3 game or an early
Same.
PS4. It did not look good. It was made by
It was insane.
Ubisoft India, which is like a new team, I think, or like a relatively new team.
It's a newer branch they've made.
Yeah, and they didn't do too great. I hope. I mean, I hope they're not like losing their jobs and stuff. I hope they figure it out. I think they need to start over. I don't know anything about game development, but start over. I don't want to look at that ever again. It looks bad.
I would agree. I would 100% agree. If you were telling me that this is a remake of a highly anticipated game that people wanted to play, because I know back in the day people played Prince of Persia, the original one. If you're telling me that that's what they're going to do to remake this game, and this is going to be on a PlayStation 4 and an Xbox One, man, that's a bunch of doo-doo. That's a bunch of doo-doo. It's a
Yeah,
bunch of smelly doo-doo.
if you saw if you let's bring it back, all right? Let's bring it back to a year. The Sands of Time came out when? Like 2010?
2010, yes, around that.
So if you in 2010 were playing Prince of Persia: The Sands of Time, and then you pause the game and you're like, I'm gonna walk down to my local store. I'm gonna go get a drink, and you walk outside and you get hit by a bus. All right?
Oh no,
Don't
2003. Oh
2003. Thank
God.
you. Yeah, much further. 2003, you get hit by a 2003 bus. I don't know. It was so long ago. Were buses even around? Who knows? You get hit by a bus. Let's say you then wake up in the year 2021 and you open up YouTube and you're like, what is this? Because that didn't come out until like 2006, but it wasn't popular until like 2008. It's not important.
To be honest, this looks very similar to what we saw.
That's what I'm saying. And then you pull up the trailer and you're like, how far have games come since I got hit by a bus in 2003? Also, how do I have the dexterity to type and speak? Not important. But you open up your computer that you already know how to use, don't ask. And then you pull up the YouTube And you're like, Prince of Persia stands the time. I bet it's still good nowadays. And you pull that up and you see it, and you're like, then you would just walk outside and just get hit by another bus.
2021 bus. It's full of that thing we don't talk about. So
It's eco now. It's eco-friendly. It's runoffs. It runs off other buses, farts or something. I don't know. It doesn't really matter.
something like
But
that. The
that game did
next the
not look
next
good.
Prince of Persia that came out, was that 2006?
I could not tell you the timeline of the Prince of Persia,
2008.
which is hysterical because that some of those games are about time. So
Okay, and let me explain one thing here. The 2008 game that came out,
that's
right?
a reboot, right?
That looked, yeah, that's a reboot. That looked better than what we saw for the remake that they were doing.
Yeah,
This
that
look
really didn't look good.
this looked much better as a game, and actually mechanics wise, this looked real good. I think I recall playing this game, and I was hyped for this game back in the day. I was like, oh, I want to try and play this. This looks cool. Um, but this game actually had an art style that didn't make your eyeballs vomit, and
Hmm.
you were okay looking at this for an
Yeah.
extended amount of time. Without contracting any seizures or anything like that, and I say contracting because that trailer literally gave people probably just compulsive seizures and all
Real
that.
quick, if your eyeballs are vomiting, go to a doctor. Stop listening
Go
to
to
this.
yeah, I
Go to a
guess
doctor. You know
seek
what?
some. No, no, keep
No, pull
no
out your
keep this in your. No,
5G.
keep,
Yeah,
yeah,
connect to your
yeah,
5G on the Magenta network.
yep, yep,
We're not sponsored. Just saying.
yeah,
But
yeah. We
John
might be, but
Lajoie,
not yet.
that guy's not still the
He
CEO.
is
Yeah,
retired.
something.
He is
Oh yeah.
retired. He's
Okay.
actually going to be
Anyways.
running to be president in 2024. So we'll
Okay.
see that.
Well, let's not get political. But I'm part of the Magenta Party. Um, I have played the only amount of Prince of Persia games I have played have been at Best Buy kiosks.
You remember those? I feel like those are gone. Like you never see those again ever.
Well,
Oh my
especially during
God.
COVID. Like, don't touch stuff. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? I mean, the
Yeah.
disease. We're not allowed to. We're in tough times. We didn't name anything. We're not going to be demonetized.
No,
It's going to
no,
be
we're not
okay.
saying anything.
Family
No,
show.
just during it's the time period we're mentioning. It's COVID times. This is
It's
the time period we're talking
during
about
these
here.
challenging times. So, and that's why we're doing this, so we could lift people's spirits. Man, this is getting derailed. What's the next thing you want to talk about?
Don't mind the derailment. The next thing I was actually going to bring up was the tweet that Jason Schreier had put out about
Mm,
Electronic Arts to decide the fate of Anthem game this week. So
isn't
to
that a
make the
rumor?
story short, well, he's confirmed that they're going to say what's going to happen. The rumor is what we know. What we don't know what they're going to say, but he's confirmed that they are going to say something
Ah.
this week or this weekend or something. So I'm not classifying technically this as a rumor. We can talk about what they're going to be saying in the rumor section, but I think we'll say, we'll talk about how he's confirming this and what this actually means for them, why this might be just an important step for them. I mean, this game was dead when it arrived. 2019, am I correct with
I believe so. I
with the
believe
date?
so.
So this game was hyped up beyond belief by a very popular stock right now that I'm sure everybody knows. Um, it's been it was promoted to no end from that particular company. And you'd walk into a store, meanwhile you're asking about a different game, and they're just asking you, have you pre-ordered Anthem yet? Have you done this yet? And I'm like, sir, I'm not here for this. I'm here for Kingdom Hearts 3. I don't know why you're telling me about this, but okay. Anyway, that's besides the point. For this game to fail the way it did, do you think that it's even worth them trying to have any sort of discussion or even a I don't know, a reboot of this? I mean, I don't know what it's going to do for them in terms of like either fan base appreciation or market share or what, because at this point what are they going to gain from making this good again? I mean, they're not going to take anything from the lion's share, which is you know, Destiny at this point, which is the big shooter that's online right now, or Warzone, or any of the battle royale games, or they're not going to take away much from that. I don't see them doing anything with this.
So when I first heard this news, I was like, "Wow, this is the worst day of my life." This was after the Prince of Persia news, so it's
Oh my
not a lie.
God.
Um, I that game just did not launch to what people wanted it to be, and I remember watching the
Uh,
demo and just being like, "This is not for me." But yeah, that game it's okay. If I can't imagine that many people are playing it. Um, and I hear no news of it. I'm not really into that world, but yeah, I just hear no news of that game, or I don't hear anything about the community. Occasionally, I'll hear about the community and like Fallout. What 76? Is that the online one?
76.
Yeah.
Yep, 76. You're
Occasionally, I'll
correct.
hear news about like what's going on in there, and um, like some of those where it's like, okay, clearly these have active users, even if it's not the biggest fan base. But it's I've heard nothing of Anthem, and I've heard nothing of Avengers. So Anthem, I'm not surprised that it probably will be put down. And I
Funny,
say
funny
you
you
should move
mentioned
on.
Avengers. Yep, funny,
Yeah,
funny
move
you
on.
mentioned Avengers.
Do what you probably should have done in the first place. If you want to make an open world game in that style, attach the Mass Effect brand to it. You have like
I
a
would have,
lore.
yeah, that would have been a no-brainer to do that. If they had
Yeah.
attached the Mass Effect brand, I think, to like an open world multiplayer type of thing, I think that would have been a much better idea to do, versus what they're doing with this. I don't know, this trash heap of a game. And even when you play the demo, like, listen, when I played the Destiny demo, I was excited for that game because I liked the demo. It was great. When I played the Anthem demo, that thing just there was no excitement in there whatsoever. You take off and you feel like you're Iron Man for maybe the first 5 minutes, and then that's it. The entire awe of the game, the whole like, draw of that game is just over. It's done. It's dead.
Mm,
And I'm like, oh my God, this is it? Like you're just flying around and you shoot every, all the foliage around you, and then maybe you see one thing to shoot at, and you kill it, and you fly off on your way. Like there's nothing else for you to do. I'm like, oh, all right then. Yeah, I 100% agree with you. If they
yeah.
took something big like the Mass Effect brand, or even when they had the Star Wars thing, even if they did something with Star Wars, I think that would have ended up better. Although I think Battlefront, but that's not a massive all-nine multiplayer game. It's not like that. That's just a multiplayer shooter. It's more along the lines of like Battlefield and Call of Duty and things
Hmm.
like that. But yeah, attacking on a good already built brand to that would have been much better than creating Anthem. I don't know. I mean, listen, if it comes out to be rebooted and it's this great thing, because we've seen games get a reboot and they do significantly well, like No Man's Sky, got a very massive reboot, and a lot of it stuff was free,
That
and
wasn't even
people who
really a
originally,
reboot. That was just support, and
I don't know, because
it
they did
rebooted the
have to,
franchise, I guess, but it was the same game.
yeah, trying to think
But
of a game that even would do something like that. But yeah, and it's even funny you mentioned Avengers. Like I was saying before, that game seems to be following the same path as
yeah,
Anthem. Unfortunately,
it
it
it,
really
it
does. And
might
you
be
and I
quicker.
first have first-hand experience. Yeah, yeah. I would 100% agree. I wouldn't be surprised if in the next couple of months we see that, hey, Avengers is now going free to play. And everything is just you have to buy expansions for it. And then if that doesn't work, I wouldn't be surprised if within a year and a half even, we see servers start to get shut down.
Yeah, I like who even knows when Spider-Man's coming? Like it,
All right.
that
So funny you
game
mentioned that.
launched bad, and yeah, it's
Funny you
not
mentioned
building
Spider-Man
up.
coming to that. I'm gonna move right over to the rumor section of the of our
Ooh,
cast
some
now. So
whispers.
the first whisper I'm gonna talk about has to actually do with Final Fantasy VII remake, and I'm mentioning this because there's two other pieces to this rumor. So, we got Final Fantasy VII Remake rumor coming around with PlayStation 5 is going to be a substantial upgrade. This, basically, we've had inklings of this already. I think
Hmm.
last week I spoke about this, but they're basically now detailing it a bit more. There's going to be new story content. It's more than a substantial, it's more substantial than a resolution increase. And it is going to be announced, apparently, alongside something called the Future of Gaming event, alongside Project Athia, which is the game that they teased on PlayStation, which is going to have
Yeah.
about a 2-year exclusivity window on there, PlayStation
Mm-hmm.
5. Final Fantasy 16, which is apparently exclusive to PlayStation, probably going to come to PC.
It is.
And
Yeah.
then they're apparently going to be talking about Avengers Spider-Man during that event. So we'll see what comes about of Avengers if they mention anything besides the Avengers Spider-Man coming out. I'm assuming he probably see him maybe in April, May. Um, and is it going to make any big difference? I don't really think so, unless they plan to lay out a roadmap that's saying, hey, here's what we intend on doing on revamping all the content for you and getting you all this stuff that keeps you interested in the game and actually give you a reason to play and fix a couple of the issues in the game, like just the overall gameplay and the way it feels and things like that. I don't know if that's a realistic timeline, but I mean, if they're going to have a future gaming event, who knows? Maybe they might have something like that. But this is also confirming one other thing: is just no PS5. Well, not confirming, but this is the big thing they're talking about. No, it's just going to be PS5, PC, and no Xbox. So this game is probably not going to be hitting any of the Microsoft consoles, unless you're owning a PC, which I don't know if you count that as a Microsoft console because it's technically can play
The
almost
PC
any
is its
game.
own thing. It's not a console. So.
Right. Sorry, yeah, PC Master Race.
Yeah. Please.
So there apparently we're gonna have a lot of extra stuff in here coming in. I was just surprised to see the extra mention of Marvel Spider-Man because I kind of thought that like Square either decided to just put this under a pillow and suffocate it and forget about it that it ever existed, or they were just gonna wait until maybe like a big thing like TGS 2021 to talk about more about like what they're gonna do because it definitely did not launch the way they wanted it to launch.
Yeah, I think honestly they just need to get content out at this point. They need to get content out. They need to get the word out. They need to do what No Man's Sky did. They need to stop talking and work and make their game better. And so
I
far
think if they do
they
that,
haven't done too much of that. I think they've added 2 characters. If
yes,
if only just
Hawkeye's apprentice, the girl,
yeah yeah.
I can't remember her name,
She's
and
played by
then somebody else
Ashley Birch, Aloy herself. So,
and then
but
somebody else they added, but I can't remember who else they added. I
yeah, I
haven't paid
can't.
enough attention to the game to even recognize who they would add in. And I guarantee you. But here's my question: since we both have first experience in this game, first-hand
Hmm.
experience, what if they were to do that and they were to do like a whole 180 like No Man's Sky did? Would we be drawn back into that game?
I would say I would not be. No.
Okay. I think I'd
Unless
have
it's
to try
like
it out
cheap.
again.
Unless it's super
Yeah.
cheap.
Yep. Either free to play or like 20 or $25. I think 20 probably the max. I don't even think 25 would be
Yeah, if it goes
worth it at
20,
that
I
point.
got another account. Like I'll play. I'll play that with you.
I recall when we played, the only thing that I remember, and which is the thing that's always going to strike me from that game, was the fun time we had when you were the Hulk, I was Iron Man, and we
Uh-huh.
were just wrecking stuff in the game, and it was on the hardest difficulty, and
Oh,
we
with
were
the shields.
dying every 10 seconds.
Yeah.
That was a lot of fun.
I recorded that and I have like an 8-minute like I highlighted it. I clipped out the 8 minutes that we just were getting destroyed. We're screaming and yelling, and those shields are just taking us down. And
We
it was
did
so much
minimal
fun.
damage.
Yeah,
It was a lot of fun.
it was
And
a
I
lot of
missed that.
fun, but
I was watching like Avengers and I missed that. But yeah, go ahead.
I mean, it was fun. But like,
Oh.
if that happens every day, eventually I'm just gonna be like, "Rrr, what are you doing? Who? Oh my
He just
god!"
decided to come in and just, you know, interrupt us. Anyway,
Just trying to fill the
I
third
I
seat.
would I would yeah. I would love to go back to that just for that. That was awesome. That was amazing to do. That was
Yeah.
fun. And I was watching some Avengers stuff the other night, and I was like, man, I miss flying around like Iron Man. But the only game I can do that in is Avengers, and I don't want to play Avengers. That's not what I want to do.
Yeah, it's just I don't know. It's just that game needs to do a lot to entice me back. But if you got it and you were like, "Hey man, it's only $20," I'd be like, "All right."
My God.
I ain't ever
I
gonna
would
be like, hey, I bought it. You gonna get it? I would never initiate, is what I'm saying. But
well, that's all right. That's all right. We'll cross that bridge when we get there.
yeah, we'll
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 cross
cross
that
it.
bridge when we get there. Speaking of things coming back or things possibly coming back, we have another rumor about E3. Anybody remember E3 since there wasn't one last year, and it feels like it's been forever
E3.
since we've seen an E3 or
What is
heard about
E3?
E3. Apparently, they tweeted today that not today, yesterday. I apologize, yesterday. That they've been hard at work at this year's event and can't wait to provide the full picture of E3 2021 experience. Keep an eye here for more big news from us. It's they included a Metal Gear announcement, a Metal Gear picture, which most people thought was a Metal Gear announcement, and they clarified below. But I mean, E3 this year, we're not out of the quote unquote dangerous times yet. To have an E3, and this is odd because I'm seeing a lot of things starting to open back up this year. Like a lot of amusement parks are opening back up in 2021, and gatherings are starting to happen again in 2021.
Yeah, but
I
just wait.
yeah yeah that's what I would say.
Yeah, they've
I
tried
don't I
that.
don't I
And
don't know
E3, don't
how
they want it to be virtual?
is that what we want to do now? Is that
I
what we've read that
I think that's their plans. They want it to be like a big virtual event, which is as much as we joke about not having E3 being like whatever. I would have loved an E3 last year. I really do like the whole week. Like we're not games press. We didn't have to do work during it, but it's literally a week of like, hey, watch this game. Hey, have this company talk
now?
about this.
Imagine
Instead of
this. Imagine if we had a non-stop crafting a chat for the entirety of E3
we could do
throughout
that.
the whole week, and we're doing work like that.
We could do that this year if we really wanted to. But let me tell you something
I
right
wouldn't
now.
mind it. I just gotta take some PTO, and we're good.
We need.
We'll do
I'm telling you, we got to do like a Sony React, like craft and chat one of these times.
live react
Yeah,
live.
like a live React. Not
We'll
throw
have
our
to figure
faces
out.
in there because we're
No,
ugly.
no, no,
But
no.
like
Yeah, no. Nobody wants to see what we look
the
like
looks
anyway.
of the
So
podcast is on a leave of absence. All right. He got these two fugs. Not it's a family show, but kids don't know how to spell and don't know what that stands for. We got us two fugs running this. So I'm missing E3. I want an E3, but like, can you imagine last year what it would have been like? Like just having a week of stuff because Sony would have been there. They would have said like, hey, this is what's going on. We instead of every day us being like, when's the conference? Like when's Sony gonna talk about stuff? When's Microsoft gonna talk about stuff? What does the console look like? I needed more
man.
information. And this year I need so much more. Like I need to know more
Oh
about
yeah.
Horizon. I need to know more about God of War. I just need to know.
Yeah, yeah. I think this year's and it's always after those game consoles launch like the Series X and S and the PlayStation 5. After those big console launches, it's the year after is the most crucial and important and most exciting year for E3 especially
Yeah.
because you don't know what's on the horizon. Like how I did that there.
Thank you.
You don't know what is possibly around the corner for you, and you don't know what surprises they have. You're going in there expecting Horizon, you're expecting God of War, and you're expecting Ratchet and Clank, right? Let's say if it doesn't come out by then, which I hope it would. You're expecting that, but then you get blown away with Infamous 3 and Resistance reboot, and all these different things.
I don't know why I bring up Infamous 3 every time, man.
Listen, man, it's gonna happen. Don't worry. It's gonna be fine. It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. Um, you know that's why I'm excited for E3 to come back. We were all sorely disappointed last year, especially
Yeah.
when E3 got canceled and all that, because I believe 2019 was the last time that PlayStation had done their PS experience, right, where we could go to the movie theaters and we could watch
Yeah.
it.
Yep.
And then 2020 happened, and all that went down the drain.
Yeah,
And
2020 they
we
announced they weren't doing it that year. They weren't doing the
yeah
theater experience. And then E3 was like, man, that's sad. We don't even want to host this anymore. So they canceled the show. Pretty sure that's how it
Man,
happened.
that would be awesome if that started back up this year. It would be great. It would be
It
amazing.
would be a cool thing for
I
Sony to do if they were like, hey, we can all come together now, so let's get these butts back into seats. But it's not even going to be during the week of E3. It's going to be this day. Ooh!
Yeah. I think,
Oh,
for one, that would help the movie theaters out because can you imagine the amount of concessions that would be sold and people coming into the movie theaters to say, I want to participate in this again. It's been so long. I'm sure there'd be some apprehension, but you know, there's it just to go back to some sort of like, you know, what we went through in 2019. We're just on the edge of our seats, wondering what the console's going to look like because we didn't know what the hell what that was going to look like at that point.
yeah.
Um,
Also,
I'm excited.
some of those people in that theater, I kind of wish were wearing a mask back then. So,
Yes.
because some of those people have not been outside their house. I mean, we say that, but I haven't been outside my house in like, I don't know, 7 years or whatever. So, I mean, how has it been? No
Been
one
about
knows. But
give or take about 8 9 years.
E3 though, you know, I miss it. Come back.
It's an exciting thing. Please come back. You know, E3. If you're looking at, if you're watching us, if you're looking at this, I mean, I don't know why you would be, but
You're a
if you
conference or an
are,
event. I don't know how you'd watch this.
if you need us to be there to host anything, let us know. We'll virtually host.
We're down for hosting. Just give us a time
Yeah,
limit. We'll go over it and give us a topic. We'll talk around it. Like, we're there, man. We're there.
Oh man. All right, moving on to the next thing here. So a smaller one here. There's a rumor, but I'll call this a rumor. PlayStation apparently patents a back button attachment for the DualSense. I didn't really care for the first one. I don't know what purpose there is for this one, other than like a quick reload button or something, because maybe Square's not fast enough. Do I need an extra button on my controller? I don't think so. Do you?
I do not, but also this patent, if you go through like the Reddit thread on this, people are already being like, the patent that everyone's looking at says PS4. And they're
Oh, okay.
just
Well,
assuming that since it was done recently, it's for PS5. It's just, this one kind of got a little out of hand. I don't think we need a back button attachment. I know some people like to use it, like they like to modify their controllers for stuff. This again brings me to the point of Sony. Please make a website, steal from Microsoft, and make a website where I can design a controller. And then if I want to
please.
add a back button attachment, I'll add it. If I want to add
Sony, charge
17 buttons,
$100. We'll do it. Just do it. You'll see how
charge
many people do it.
$1 million.
It doesn't matter.
I
We'll
mean,
find some way to fund it. Please,
we'll
Sony,
figure it
just do it.
out. We'll figure it out.
Anyway, moving
Self-aware,
on to the next thing, since
right?
that was pretty short-lived. I'm going to
Yeah.
keep in the realm of tech here. I'm going over to
Ooh.
something I don't really like to talk about, which is Apple. I
Oh, I had a
also
feeling.
despise them. It makes my skin just fall off my body. I don't want to talk about this at all, but I'm going to talk about it because it's an interesting topic. So there is a rumor that they are working on VR, and this would be their first dip into VR because they haven't done anything unlike Samsung, where they've had their phones and everything go into VR, and they have their Samsung Odyssey system, which is a standalone VR system. Apple's VR system apparently is going to have two 8K displays in there and cost about $3,000, which will also have 12 cameras for hand tracking movements and also for your eyes. What would you do with this, and why? I mean, they already charge $1,000 for wheels for your tower. This being a 3,000 doesn't surprise me in the least bit, but the 8K displays, I feel like your retinas would be burned out with an
So
8K. You can't even see that up close.
it's nice to see that there's a company out there making a headset for the regular folk working a regular job like Apple. It's very nice to see that. When I first heard this news, I was like, this is the worst day of my life. I don't
I'm changing the
know.
title. This is the worst day of my life podcast.
It's been a bad day. No. What I saw like a little bit of this and I didn't even click on it. I think this could be a good thing, not because I would buy it or anybody I know would
We
buy
all
it.
know how much stock you have in the latest Reddit forums and WFB,
Yeah.
FB and DFV and all that. I know how much stock you have,
Side
Mr.
note,
Moneybags.
just so everyone's aware, I do own Steve Jobs' head. I don't own any Apple stock, but I stole his head. Don't ask me how I got it. Not important. So it's because he didn't believe in real science. So I just took it. $15 if anybody wants it. I'm not a smart man. I would sell it for cheap. No, I'm okay with this because I think this will inspire other companies to look into it, like to just invest more into it.
Please,
Apple
any
is a
other
big
company,
company.
don't make it $3,000 and have 8K screens.
I mean, the 8K screens, and what did you say, 12 cameras?
Yeah.
I just imagine just seeing myself reflected back and just being like, I don't want to touch this ever again. I do not need 8K. I cannot even tell if a game's running at 60 frames. I don't think those are really related, but it's just, you
No, they're
don't need
related.
8K. Are they? Who knows? No one
Our
knows.
eyes can't even. Okay, on a 6.9-inch screen, I'm going to take the biggest phone that is currently available to the consumers, which is the Samsung Galaxy Note 20. That currently displays at 2,000 pixels or 2K, right? That's 2160 by 1440 on that screen. Our eyes can't even tell that there's 2K on that screen. You're telling me that you want me to tell on 8K on a smaller screen that's probably maybe 5 inches in diagonally length. That was English. You know,
Been a day for you.
5 inches in 8K times 2. So 16K worth of pixels staring directly into my retinas. The cost of eye surgery is going to go through the roof because of Apple. And and as much as I dislike Apple, I'll hate them even more if my eye doctor will now tell me that I have to get an Apple certified glasses because this is what's happening. And I'll be just, you know what? At that point, just give me
So,
blindness instead. I'll take the
medically,
blindness.
everything you said was incorrect. In a joking way, an apple a day is supposed to keep a doctor away, but didn't talk about an ophthalmologist. So, anyways, I'm reading a
I'm
little bit
not a
about
medical
this.
professional
We're,
as
we're not
well,
medical
so.
professionals. I don't really have Steve Jobs' head, allegedly. Um, but I was reading a little bit about this on TheVerge.com. It's a small site. We like to
Hmm.
support small creators. And it talks about how the 8K displays won't be at full resolution the entire time. Instead, the device will use the eye tracking technology to determine where the user's eyes are looking and then rendering peripheral areas in lower resolution to improve performance. And this is a technique in the VR world known as foveated rendering. Probably mispronounced that. Um, Again, this could be neat. This could be something. This could never see the light of day. Apple is always trying to they're just living on technology. They try to get into everything. They dabble everywhere. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. It's like Google. They try some video games. They maybe put out a little console, something with an S. Nobody even remembers. Might about a
Yeah,
stadium.
yeah, nobody remembers
Nobody
it.
knows. I saw an article on that and it said PS Now competitor Google Stadia announces it's
Oh my
shuttering,
god.
and I was like, man, can you imagine being compared to PS Now? No offense to PS Now, but it's not, it's not the echelon. um,
No.
but yeah, this could be cool. This could be nothing. I'm here for it. I'm not buying it. I don't own anything Apple. I had a 4S back in the day for 4 years. It was great, loved it. But
Till one of your good friends got you off that and put you on something actually worthwhile.
yeah. And then he got me off that, and then he gave me something else, and then I dropped it like a day later, and then he got me the same one because insurance, but it's not really a fraud or a scam or anything like that. But that's not important. Don't tell
Not at
anybody
all. It
about
wasn't
that.
fraud at all. I would never say that's committed fraud or anything
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that.
I
I
mean,
don't know
you
who that
don't
guy
know.
is
It
that
was
you're
just a
talking about,
friend,
but yeah, I
you
don't know who
know.
you're talking about. I have no
But
idea.
yeah,
But
yeah,
yeah, I mean, I'm in for PlayStation VR technology, not so much Apple technology VR wise, because they seem to make these things and it just doesn't go anywhere. They're good at making the same thing over and over and making people think it's new. That's what they're good at, not these things, not the new style of things like that. They don't know how to do that. They
I'm
tried to
all
make a
for
car
VR
with Kia and
growing,
Hyundai,
though.
and that didn't work.
Yeah,
Yes, I'm all for VR
yeah.
growing.
So
I'm all for that. Yes,
hopefully
yes.
this inspires competition, and they don't do the Apple thing where they make it and then they shut down
PSVR
every smaller
2.0,
business.
full wireless,
So
baby. That's who I'm looking at. PSVR 2, full wireless. That's what I
8Ks,
want.
8K monitors, 15 of them, all at full power.
Oh, you might have heat generate from that.
You, no,
Melt your face off too.
well, okay. Sony makes the products. Your skin needs to be better. That's your fault. That's
All
your
right. While we're
fault.
talking about melting faces and skin, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going over to the next topic. It's Silent Hill again. Okay,
Oh, of
for the
course.
1800th time. So, this is an actual good rumor at this point. It's not just somebody saying it's going to appear at this show. The actual composer or the person who's worked on the composing the music for the games, for Silent Hill games, has actually appeared in an interview on one of the on a YouTube channel, AI Hub. I think that's where a couple of the AI YouTubers go, the VR YouTubers and AI YouTubers go.
Okay.
So basically, this is Akira Yamaoka, I think that's how you pronounce his last name. He was actually quizzed about what was going to happen with this franchise. Have you been on here, like making any new music? And his answer was, I think what you're referring to is what you're going to be hearing about in the summertime. So apparently, what we've been asking for, which is Silent Hill, we're probably going to be hearing around summertime for potentially a new Silent Hill game. He's probably been working with something with either Konami or I don't know where the Silent Hill IP is now. I don't know what Konami is doing right now. I don't know if it's with Sony right now. I don't know if it's Silent Hills. I have no idea. But this is the only concrete thing for coming from somebody who's actually done work on the game. And the quote is, I think it's the one you're hoping to hear about, which everybody's just hoping to hear about Silent Hill. I don't think there's anybody on the face of the earth that wants to hear about Contra. So if you're out there, I'm sorry for you. You should look into something different in your life, or probably look into pillows and weight limits with pillows.
What? What? I don't understand what that means. Is that offensive?
No, not at all. So that's the little rumor with Silent Hill there. Summertime, I mean, summertime would be E3, would also be TGS, would also be Gamescom. Gamescom in summertime, or is that October?
Gamescom confuses me, but I'm pretty sure it's summertime sometime.
Summertime? Was this another song? Summertime? Anyway.
Probably.
If we hear about it then, would I be surprised? No. Would I be excited? Absolutely. I've been on the bandwagon for a new Silent Hill game ever since PT.
So when I first
excited.
heard about this, I was devastated that it wasn't Contra. I'm kidding.
The worst day of your life.
No, it was all right.
It was the worst time of my life.
It was the best of times. It was the worst of times. That's a quote from a book, I'm sure.
No,
or
the worst day of your life.
Some literature.
Is when you hear they're remaking Infamous 1 and 2, but it's only on Xbox.
I mean, I wouldn't be that upset. I'd play them. I got a PC. It plays most Xbox
yeah,
games.
Game Pass. I forget.
Yeah.
Anyway, keep going.
I haven't really done much. Again, my vacation's next week, so I'm going to be playing some Game Pass, and then I'll probably talk about that next week.
Yeah, we'd love to hear your impressions of that. Yeah.
Thank you. That's why people come here, all of them.
There's a lot who come here.
There's so many. I can't even count or think about it. For the Silent Hill, isn't this the one where his interview got taken down?
Yes. His interview got removed when I was looking for some source files on it, and it has been removed. So whether that leads to more rumors, whether that leads to speculation or more fire for that speculation, that seems to be looked at on that. Oh God, I don't know what that English is terrible.
Remains to be seen.
That's what I was looking to say.
Yeah, you had the order wrong. Seems to be remained.
The order was wrong. Yeah. We'll
I,
see.
we've heard so much about the Silent Hill rumor that at this point, if it's not true, this is just we've died, and this is our heck family show. Um, and we just keep hearing this news over and over, and we're doomed to repeat it over and over. I don't
I feel
care
like
for
this is
Silent
like
Hill. I don't care for horror games or any of those, but I just want this to be revealed so everybody can just like stop being like, well, okay, this game might be coming out. It might be made by this person, or Sony owns it, or Microsoft bought the IP. I just need all the answers. E3, please solve the Silent Hill dilemma.
I think E3 would solve a lot of things this year that people have a lot of questions about.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
feel like if we don't have another E3 this year, um, it's going to be a tough one. I think if we don't have an E3 this year,
I'll lose it.
and a lot of those yeah, I was pretty. Listen, I was pretty devastated when I heard that E3 2020 wasn't happening.
Yeah, worst day of your life, right?
It was the worst day of my life.
Mhm.
Um, I thought about it. I thought about maybe just pulling the plug. It was the worst day ever. Pulling the plug out of my wall for my PlayStation 4 and just packing it in the closet in a box.
No, don't do that. Come
But
on now.
it was definitely a tough time with E3 not being there. I
Yeah,
think even we got a virtual version of Gamescom, which wasn't even
it didn't have
virtual or
anything
even
because
worth
nobody
it.
was
It
there.
wasn't, yeah, no, and it wasn't even worth it. So I don't know. I
Yeah.
mean, yeah, to put these rumors to bed and finally just get some answers, I think E3 will be that saving grace for us. But we'll have to wait till June to find that out, I
Mhm.
guess.
Mhm.
So we got a
Hopefully
few
they'll
months
announce
to
it
go,
before
guys. We
that.
got a few months. Here's hoping that there's some more state of plays before that, and we get some
Oh,
more announcements of other games we've been waiting for, such as God of War Ragnarok or something like that.
give me those like concentrated state of plays, like the one for Ghost. Like, come
Ooh,
on,
yeah. That
The
would be
Last of
pretty
Us. Come
good.
on, give me just Here's a 15-minute deep dive on a game that's coming out for Horizon Forbidden West. Ooh, Ratchet and Clank.
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
love
I
it.
would love to see something about Ratchet and Clank. Trust me, I'm dying for information on that in a virtual way. I'm just foaming at the mouth for information of Ratchet and Clank. That's something that oh my god, I can't wait to play that from what I've seen already. But yeah, that I believe pretty much wraps it up for my rumors section as far
Oh.
as what we have this week. Yeah, anything else you want to add, or you want us
I
to?
think we should talk about one more thing before we wrap this up. Because we knew it was
We're
going to
doing
be a
this. We're,
shorter one. There's only
we're
two
doing a
of us.
Sony thing, aren't we? We're doing a Sony thing. One more thing here. We're talking
No,
about one
oh
more
no, no,
thing.
this is not like a big like this is really
Oh
something we could probably
no.
discuss after, but I figured we could just discuss it now because it doesn't really matter.
Sure.
So next week I am on vacation. You
Mm-hmm.
have a life event that's happening next week,
Yes, I do.
and due to everything that's happened this week, do we want to take next week off?
I would assume that is probably for the better. So we'll probably end up seeing you guys in episode 29 the following week, which is the 23rd of February. So if you guys tune in the 23rd of February at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we will see you guys back then, since
Mm-hmm.
there are a couple of different things happening in both of our lives, and a couple things have happened in the past week. I think Adam is correct. We should be taking a week off of
Very
the
funny.
crafting and chat.
Because I thought about that because you introduced us and you're like, we've never missed a week. 28 straight weeks. And I was like, hold on a moment. Let's not get ahead of ourselves.
No, this is the end to break the streak.
Well, we've announced the break, so technically it's in the schedule. So we haven't broken the streak, I would say. I mean, we could record something like Friday and then just upload it.
You know what? Stay tuned, I guess, for next
Well,
week's cast.
hey,
If there is one, we will update the Twitter. Keep an eye
yeah.
on the Twitter if you want to see the updates for it. And we
What's
will update if there is one. It's going to be on Adam's channel, so please follow his channel if you want to see any updates with the
Yep.
Twitch here.
Starting too late, two R's, and it's the correct two with two O's. So
We'll also
starting
link
too
that
late.
into the Twitter if you've been following our Twitter.
If you search Crafting a Chat podcast, you should find my channel. I have a whole playlist and stuff. I organize my YouTube. I've made thumbnails and stuff. I've actually been cleaning it up a little bit. Should see it. It's not professional by any stretch. I didn't pay anybody on Fiverr to do it. It's all been me. So, yeah. And then what's the Twitter? I always forget the Twitter name.
It is at Chatcraft, I believe, or Chatting Craft. Let me double check for you right now. It's weird how they do this. It's at Chatcrafting. I had that totally wrong. It's at Chatcrafting. English is a very difficult language for me these days. Probably on account of I have giant life events happening and I don't know what's happening anymore.
Yeah, you're falling
so
apart.
I'll drop that. I'll drop that into the chat here on Twitch, and if Adam chooses to do so, he will pop it into his YouTube comments there.
Yeah. I don't know how to do that, so I will not do that.
All right then.
So
that is the
I'll
Twitter
add it to
handle,
a link
and,
on my page on my YouTube. I'll put a link for this. We're at 6 followers. If we can get to 10 by I don't know, was it the 23rd you said? Maybe we'll do something about it. And come on, four more followers.
4 more followers. We'll do some. Twitch currently has 8 followers. If we can get to 10, we'll do a. You know what? We'll do a quick a different game, but a live stream of a different game, and you guys can give us some ideas of games that you want us to do a live stream of. If we don't have it, obviously we can't do it. So try and give us games that maybe would be widely available to almost anybody.
Also, real quick, if the followers on Twitter are the clearly fake accounts that are trying to hit you up to do some naughty things that my mom would not approve of, you can still follow us. It still counts. But I'm just saying, if we do any giveaways in the future, when and if, let's say when we hit it big, they're probably not going to be eligible. Because Daddy Loves 69 is not going to get the free PS5 we're giving away in like 2 years.
No,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, guys, please be smart. Don't do anything like that. Don't look at that. That's terrible. Don't fall into that, please.
Yeah. And this has been a good episode. I was nervous about this one because our main man Giuseppe Jones isn't here, but we held down the fort for him. It hasn't started on fire, thankfully. Next time we should just build a wooden house and just burn it, just to have an inside joke. Oh man, I should have talked about that.
Yeah, next time also keep in mind as well. Look forward to maybe seeing a fresh new face on here, just so we can have probably 3 people on here. We don't know who yet, but. Hey, if anybody wants to apply, go ahead and shoot us a DM or something like that on Twitter, and maybe we might hit you back up. But if anything, you should be seeing a brand new, fresh face on here next week. Next time on the 23rd. Next week, we may or may not have an already uploaded video on the YouTube channel. So. And with that, that's a wrap from us, guys.
That's a wrap.
We'll see you guys on the 23rd.
Yeah, go to twitch.tv/craftingachat. YouTube.com/
Follow us on Twitter.
Starting Too Late, 2 R's, 2 O's. Follow us on Chitter.
Absolutely.
Chitter.
You did!
No! End it! Oh,
no! All right, follow us on Twitter at @ChatCrafting, and we will see you guys later. It's been, as always, it's been a pleasure, and we'll see you in the next Crafting and Chat, guys. Bye-bye.
Bye.